Well, howdy, this is Mr. K's, and we are talking today about 8.2. We're going to look at a kingdom that's south of Egypt, south of Cush, in ancient Ethiopia. It's the kingdom of Aksum. Sometimes you see it spelled A-X-U-M. Here today you're going to see it spelled A-K-S-U-M. But it is a kingdom that did have links with Egypt and Cush. It's located south of Cush on a plateau in Ethiopia. Now, there was a link, ancient link, with Israel through good old King Solomon. The thought was King Solomon married the queen of Aksum and even had a child with her. And she went back to Aksum to rule. So there is an ancient link with Israel because of that. In fact, I think in the 1950s or 60s, they found a lost tribe of Jews, black Jews, in Ethiopia, and they called them Falasha Jews, which means displaced Jews. And they brought them back to Israel. Now, the history of Aksum includes Zoskales being their first king. The question was he indeed? They're still trying to find out. But Aksum conquered lands near the Blue Nile, the Red Sea, and Arabia. They crossed the Red Sea and took over part of Arabia. Aksum had a great location for trading, and so it did become a trading center. Caravans would come to the eastern part of Africa, and ports on the Red Sea gave it influence over other cities that weren't as fortunate to have that location. Adulis is their chief seaport, and it was very cosmopolitan. What does that mean? There were many different cultures there and languages. King Izana led them through their golden age, and as he conquers across the Red Sea, Arabia, and then north of him, Cush, he becomes a devout Christian. So ancient Ethiopia has a link with Judaism and Christianity. The Aksumites had a diverse cultural heritage. Why is that? Well, because they were traders. At first they were animists, believed that everything natural contains a spirit, but later on, under King Izana, they converted to Christianity. Now, African Christianity is different than other Christianity. There's the dispute that occurred over the nature of Christ. Was he God, divine, or was he God and human at the same time? The Egyptian Christians, or the African Christians, say he was totally God. European Christians are on the side of him being totally God and totally human at the same time. That's going to lead to a split between Egypt and Ethiopia, and Constantinople and Rome. They went their own way, and that's the way it is today. Stone pillars we find in Aksum were called stelae, and they were stone pillars heaped up on each other, and they had inscriptions in the native Aksumite language called Ge'ez. They celebrated the conquests of Arabia and Cush, and you'll find them there in the stelae today. King Izana had huge stelae erected to commemorate those victories. He was known for creating a written language, minting coins, terrace farming, which means flat patches on the sides of hills dug in, canals, dams, and cisterns. Cisterns are collection places for water, almost like a swimming pool, but you don't swim in the pool, you drink the water. The kingdom is going to decline for a number of reasons. One is that Islamic invaders kind of paid back Aksum for invading them. They came over and invaded Aksum, and they were taken over by about 710 AD. They destroyed Adulis, and since Aksum was cut off from the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, you're going to see trade decline here. Well, that's the skinny on Aksum, one of the important trading centers in ancient Africa. This is Mr. K's, and I'll see you across the Red Sea. Bye-bye.